right, we're looking at number 2 because when I was going over your papers and giving you feedback, I noticed that a lot of people had a lot of different answers for number. Oh, sorry. I had a lot of different answers for number 2. What was the important word in the question there? Someone who doesn't have a lot of points. What was the important word in the question? Natalie. Describe. That was one of them. I'm going to come back to that next because that's probably the second most important word. I'm talking like the most important word because it has to do with our goal. Emily. Be confident. Yell it. I think it was. The current setting. The current setting is the
when and where the story takes place.
Setting is the
when and where the story takes place.
I'm going to go back to Natalie's word now. She said another important word there was to describe. That's a verb. What does it mean to describe? What does it mean to describe? You ready?
Really?
Describe is like when you talk about something and you give like details about it.
Describe, give details. Give
Details.
So I need to give details about the setting. Setting is the
When and where the story takes place.
Okay. I got a lot of C. I got a lot of C. I'm not telling you now whether it's right or wrong. It says, he knew that unless a team took him there, he would never go to that village. I know it talks about village because that's the where. Village is the
Where.
Village is the
Where.
I also got a lot of A. A said, he marked fallen trees, Why am I reading it? You should read it. He marked fallen trees pointing along the path, small piles of stones, and wherever the trail seemed to whenever the trail seemed to vanish, he discovered a tree, the sign of the beaver. I'm looking for the best description. Ureli says description means details. Setting means the where. Close your eyes. Each person is trying to prove that their evidence is the best. One person says, I think A gives details about the where. He marked fallen trees, pointing along the path, small piles of stones, and wherever the trail seemed to vanish, he discovered the signs of the beaver. Okay, and the next person says, nope, my evidence has more details. It says, he knew that unless a team took him there, he could never go to the village. Who do you think would win that argument, that theirs had more details about the where? Take your head up. I'm looking for excited 4th graders, but also 4th graders that are showing me silent signals. Which one's better at proving the setting details about the setting? Why? Do I have at least one hand in each turning block group? I do. So when I come back again, I should have 100% of hands. Which details better? Why? Turn. Hold on. Turn. Stop. Did we get it? So much better than during the lesson. Which one's better? Andrew.
Andrew.
Iris.
Iris.
A is better because it gives you all of the details. And when I looked at the others, there's only village. There's only said village.
Someone who is brave enough to admit they got this wrong the first time, I want you to synthesize why A was better. Brave enough to tell me why you got it. Brave enough to admit you got it wrong. You're going to tell us how you learned from it. Julian.
Julian.
I got B, but I knew I was wrong because they only gave only village, and they gave details. They gave details, more all of the details, and the all says just the same.
Raise your hand if you did something similar. If you're brave enough to admit, yeah, I actually didn't answer the question. Thank you for being brave enough to admit that. Does it feel good to have learned something today? Where's the place to make a mistake?
Here.
Where's the place to learn?
Here.
We still have
10 minutes.
we still have about 2 minutes. So why am I stealing your paper? I don't know what I'm doing. I would like you to look at Ureli's response to number 1. Show me that you're being respectful to her paper as you would be if it was your paper up there. Romina has her pencil home, her eyes are on the board. Something I wanted to point out about Ureli's response is that 1, she used race to answer it. I didn't put race on the paper. What was your clue that you were going to need to that race would help you? How'd you know? Is that? I knew that race would help me. 3, 2, 1. It said?
Use a method of the test to support your answer.
Okay. Now, I underlined, Ureli actually used 2 pieces of evidence to check yourselves. I see lots of this. Right? The reason we're sitting in showers is so that we don't even worry about playing with anything around us, so that you won't make the mistake like I did. Right? I was playing with my ring, now it's lost. Check yourselves. Now, I wanted you guys to hear from Ureli. Why did you give more than 1 piece of evidence? Ureli.
I gave more than 1 piece of evidence because so I would have more supportive details about why my topic. So I wanted to have more supportive details so it could sound like more better.
So it could sound better. So one of her details, red dot. David's eyes on the red dot. One detail said, now I can't read it. My father go out on war trail. He go to find white man that killed my mother. He not come back. That was one of her details about why a teen's family would hate white people. And then she had a second detail here. Read it for us. I'll read. Let's make sure you're following along. I know when did all of those. Oh, this was for explain. I know when white men did all of those things, I would hate them too. Let me find her other evidence. I'm looking for paraphrase. A teen's mother died because at the fault of a white man's gun. So her two pieces of evidence. Her mother got killed, and her father didn't come back when he tried to find him. However, there was one more piece of evidence that a lot of you missed. that could support this even more. So 2 pieces was great. You could have had a third. And there were a couple people who I marked found it. Can you share with us? Angel.
Angel. My piece of evidence was that that when a team was a child, the Indians
Pause.
they were at
Check
war.
yourself. Are you being respectful of Angel's answer right now?
When he was a child, they were at war with the French, and when the French killed the Indians, they would make them to
Scalp them. Did anyone figure out what that meant? It kind of makes me sick to my stomach even thinking about it. It's a really good piece of evidence about why you would hate them. Who can explain what that meant? Loud and proud. Iris.
What that meant was that they like if you were gonna eat a bear, they took off the parts.
Which part would be the scalp?
The head.
Does that evidence that white men used to scalp the Indians, is that a really strong reason in support of why a teen's family would hate them? There were 3 pieces of evidence from the text that prove why his family would hate them. I want you to give the 3 pieces of evidence. Clap hands when you're done. Turn, shoulder,